Perfect, thank you.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is a regularly scheduled meeting for July 15th, 2025, approximately 6:30. Please join us in a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is Liz?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. Yeah. You did have us worried a little bit, though. Roll call. Liz, Chuck, and Donnie are here. Barbara's on vacation, and Jesse's asked to be excused. Okay. Approval of the previous minutes. As you'll see, you'll have two of them in front of you. One for July 11th and one for July 1st. Let's do July 1st first, please. June 11th, yes. Thank you.
I'll make a motion we approve the meeting, special council meeting minutes from June 11th.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for June 11th, 2025. All in favor? Opposed or any? Okay, now for July 11th. For July 1st? First.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for July 1st.
Second.
You have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for July 1st. All in favor? Opposed of any? Thank you. No petitions, remonstrances, or communications. Stephen, I don't have you on, but are you okay to talk for a few?
If you'd like me to.
Yes. Come on up and let's see what's going on here. Hope all of you know that Stephen works for the city this year and last year. We let him off for 1 week to go to Boys State.
It was a wonderful experience to be able to not only be able to go and be with other people my age who are all trying to learn the same thing, but to be able to understand more about how our government works. Not just in a classroom to understand the basics, but to be there and be able to have that hands-on experience of learning how a city council functions and how a county functions, and on top of that, how a whole state can function on those different positions that are in place, on how the voting works. It was a wonderful experience to be able to go into more depth than you ever would in our high school education system, and to be able to not only understand, but be involved helps a lot. I got to be the wonderful job of being a city councilman, as these lovely people get to do. And I understand how hard it is, and I have a more appreciation of how our city is run because I've been able to be in that position. And I think it's a really powerful experience that I had to be able to go and learn and be with these people who are also excited to know how our country actually functions, rather than taking a test and being like, oh, okay, you're good. But we actually got the experience to go and do that, and I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity.
He's a senior this year, so hopefully we'll have him back for one more summer. No petitions, remonstrances, or communications, right, Liz?
Right.
Okay, grant need, fire department, fireworks. And just go on asphalt bid while you're there.
Okay, so
On the 4th of July, the fire department had their hot dog roast at the city park, and it was a great turnout. We had a lot of people show up, a lot of people from, not even from this community, came out and all of that. And, then we had the fireworks, and we tried to put it in a controlled area. It got a little bit hectic. So after all of that, Cody and I decided that we started a committee within the fire department. We're going to start getting donations throughout the rest of the year until, the next 4th of July. We want to set it up a little bit different. So we're still going to do our barbecue in the park, and with the donation money, we're going to try to get enough to actually purchase the fireworks, set everyone up in the park, and then we light them off in the park. We're not going to be the little tiny fountain. We're going for, the big, good fireworks. So we talked to Pups. They're gonna help us. Future's gonna help us out a bit too. And so we're just gonna get that committee going and see what we can do about raising some money to put on a good fireworks show for the 4th of July out there.
So still let people bring theirs up.
Yes, but we're gonna control it a lot better than what it was before. I mean, it got a little hectic. We only had 4 firefighters there. Only 4 of us were able to show up. So, see if we can get some help from the outlying areas and stuff, come out and help also. But, I mean, it was a good night. It was really fun. So, yeah, Tony showed up and Chuck showed up, and it was a good time. So. And then also with the 24th coming up, residents are allowed to light fireworks off at their house for the state fire marshal. And they can do it on the 24th from July 22nd to the 25th, from the hours of 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Except for on the 24th, they can go till midnight. And New Year's is the exact same, and Chinese New Year's. So we just need to make sure the residents, are mindful of that. We do live in a tinder box, very dry out there. We just got to be very careful.
So does that, when we have that resolution, does that include that resolution? Or was that no fireworks period?
Well, I think when you guys brought up that resolution, I don't think you adopted it, so it never really took place. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, it was talked about, but
Not adopted, so.
I think it was adopted because we talked about adopting the one that we had last year.
Did you? I don't think you did, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go back, but it seems like, I think it was you, Tommy, that brought up, are we going to adopt the one from last year?
I can't remember if we actually opened it.
I don't think that.
You want us to post something for the 24th, like
Yeah.
we did for the 4th?
If you could, that would be great.
Liz will take care of that.
Okay.
So the same resolution before? Is that what you're?
I think we're just going off
same
the
one
state
we
fire
have
marshal's recommendation.
They're legal to do that now this year.
Yeah.
Mayor just said post it what we had, so are we posting?
Well, we're posting, I think if you're gonna post anything, it should be something like, on the 24th, you can only allow fireworks from July 22nd to July 25th from 11 a.m. to 11
In
p.m.
the neighborhoods.
in the neighborhoods. But, I mean, I know that's scary and all that.
That's-
I mean, that's for the state fire marshal.
But we can continue the resolution.
You can be more restrictive.
Yes.
You do not have to, you can be more restrictive, but you can't, like, what you couldn't do is say you can do fireworks till 1 a.m., for example. You can't broaden the statute says, but you can be more
But we still
restrictive.
adopt the resolution that we have for the 4th of July that continues throughout July 24th, which means no fireworks in the neighborhoods.
You can do that.
I make that motion that we propose to keep that resolution in place that we have for July 4th.
I'm worried about that too, so I'm gonna second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. To go with the resolution, I would sure like to see it.
The resolution.
Yeah.
There was one posted on Facebook that Cody had signed.
It's right.
So I
It's in that-
understood that you guys adopted it, but I'm
Uh,
not sure.
It's
Same
in
with
that
me.
right there, it's got all of it right there.
Grant, is it the one from the state?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the resolution as written. All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes. Moving right along.
Asphalt, blacktop. So Nelson came out and did some quotes for us for blacktop replacement. We're gonna put it off because we have another 2 holes that we've gotta dig in the road and then do them all at one time. So if we did the 4 cuts we have right now, it would actually be later, in the late fall before they could come back out and actually do the other one over by the old clinic. So we want-
you didn't say the.
No, we haven't yet. So, and Nelson's extremely busy. We get other folks for it by chance, so. But we wanna hold off on that until we get the other road cut, so they can do them all at one time, so we're not leaving one open for a long time or anything like that, so.
Do you know exactly what, up the canyon?
What they're doing right now, going up to the treatment plant, they are doing the sides of the road, each side, and then filling all the potholes on throughout the whole road. They're not gonna overlay the whole road where they've gone right now, past the rodeo grounds. That's as far as they're gonna go with the overlay. There might be 1 or 2 other patches up the canyon that are really bad, that they're gonna overlay, but the majority of it's gonna be how it is, about the potholes, so.
Okay.
Better than nothing, but.
Yeah, it's a lot better than nothing.
Well, that's a lot better.
So, that's it.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Brenda, you're here?
Here.
Hello, good evening.
Yep. So, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for letting me and some of our community members voice some concerns that we had. We do want to take a moment and appreciate the fire department, emergency services, and the city council and volunteers that help make this community a great place to live, because it really is a blessing to live in this small town with all of our community members, that we can depend on each other, call on each other. Everyone is, it's a great place to live. My family and I were at the fireworks show that was held at Sunnyside Park on July 4th. I and many community members had concerns over the lack of safety when lighting off the fireworks that night, and in previous years I found out. The second firework of the night tipped over and shot right in between my 2 teenage daughters. It went right by their faces. They were standing side by side. In your guys' packet, I've attached screenshots of other community members saying, one community member saying that her husband had that he was just excited and didn't think of safety or the fireworks being flat on the ground and just lit them off, and that's how it tipped. Don't get me wrong, I understand that accidents happen and you can't prevent them completely. Towards the end of the night, there was a firework that shot off and either tipped or blew up, something happened, and it shot straight into the chair that my 3-year-old daughter was sitting in not even 2 seconds before that. If she would have been sitting in that chair, it would have either been detrimental or worse. I have attached the pictures of the chair in the packet as well. The fireworks shot straight through the chair and caught the chair on fire. This was just my personal experience, but after posting my personal experience on social media, I had many people reach out to me sharing their personal experiences over the past 3 years, from cars being hit, people having sparks land on their faces and being burned, to children being hit and burned. I also have attached screenshots from those community members and blacked out their names. That night, my husband was also lighting fireworks, but he was the only one to have cinder blocks holding the fireworks from tipping over. There is a few immediate safety concerns that need to be addressed. I do know that the 4th is another year away, but the 24th is just next week. 1, the ground of the park is not a flat ground. 2, firework guidelines were definitely not followed. 3, no safety guidelines were put into place by the fire department or for the community members to follow that were going to the park. 4, people of all ages were lighting off fireworks. 5, the perimeter to where people were watching and the fireworks being lit off were too close in proximity to each other. I did go online to the Utah Fire Department page, and I did copy Utah legal. Aerial fireworks are designed to travel up to 150 feet into the air and then explode. Aerial fireworks shall be placed on a hard, level surface outdoors in a clear and open area prior to ignition. Anyone under the age of 16 shall not handle or operate aerial fireworks. Ignition of aerial fireworks shall be minimum of 30 feet away from any structure or vertical obstruction. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not want to see this get canceled or be done away with, because for our community, it is a great opportunity, and for many of our citizens, they don't have the ability to go somewhere else to watch fireworks. My goal here is just to create a safer environment for the show, or to plan and discuss different options so that our whole community is safe and that the city is not held liable for an accident or death of a community member. We all know that the city is close to a financial crisis, and a student is not favorable for anyone. And the way that fireworks are currently done is going to fall right into the category of an attractive nuisance. We also believe that it looks bad on the city to have the fire truck parked with citizens drinking alcohol around and leaning on the truck, when there is an ordinance of no drinking or smoking at the park. This picture was posted on the East Carbon Fire Department's page by the fire department. It is also attached in your packet. I've investigated a few things and I've come up with a few ideas. 1, follow what Helper City does. Fire trucks are placed in different areas around town to make response times quicker if there becomes an issue while citizens light off their own fireworks. 2, a year-round fund is set up for our community members to donate into the fireworks, and then they're done by the fire department only, kind of set up like what we did for New Year's Eve. 3, put very detailed safety precautions into place for the park, have people further away and have community members light their own little fireworks, but all aerial fireworks or shooting fireworks are given to the fire department, which will go off at a certain time, and they can be like closer, further up than where the community members are around the park. Put a committee together to come up with ideas and solutions to make this even funner and a safer event for everyone. Sounds like the fire department's already on top of that. My only recommendation would be to add community members rather than having it just be the fire department. More input, better help for everyone.
Well, and I think it would also, on that particular piece, Mr. Adams is actually a certified pyrotechnician. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it would be good to speak to somebody who knows, who is certified, who knows what the laws are in the state to help ensure safety of citizens and everybody. And where we have somebody that we know of who is in our community who could provide that feedback,
Take advantage of it.
I think we should take advantage of it so that we can help keep everyone safe.
Again, I want to thank the city council for hearing us out and the fire department for the efforts and the barbecue that they provide every year. I think that that's really neat that they do that. And I just want to emphasize that I don't want this to be taken away, and I just want it to be safe for our community and for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take all of this under advisement. Anything from the council?
I think the more safety we can bring into it, the better off we are.
Yeah, I know.
Appreciate it.
My quotes are on there also from, on Facebook, but there was a firework that hit, and it hit my family and a family just right kitty corner to us with young children. And I later found out that it was somebody who was much younger than 16 who was lighting off an aerial firework. And so whatever we need to do to make sure that, you know, those kinds of rules are known and followed, and it's responsible adults, not intoxicated or underage people, to help keep everybody safe. Because I know several people, and a lot of people did not feel like it was safe, and they chose to leave because they didn't feel it was a safe environment for our families. And if the city is going to recommend that we do it at the park, we're going to follow what our city is asking us to do and go to the park. But if we don't feel safe, then there's things that need to be addressed. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Grant, where do you like fireworks off?
We're in the parking lot of Sunnyside Park.
Have you ever considered up on the hilltop where the baseball thing is? up on that dirt,
Yeah,
maybe away from the crowd.
we could probably do something like that. I mean, that's kind of like what we were talking, we haven't figured out exactly how we're gonna do it yet, we're still, like I said, we've got that committee going. And we want everyone to sit in the park and not in the parking lot. Where, kind of like what Brandy said, just make it safe for everyone.
What if they shot in the baseball field? And everybody
Yeah,
has to stay in the other areas of the park?
That's a good idea too. But it's probably a better idea right there because the trees are out of the way and everything.
And it's mostly dirt, you know,
It's all
as
dirt.
opposed to weeds.
That's something we could consider and do, yeah, for sure. We could even do that this 24th if, you know.
That, we probably ought to get something figured out like right away and have it posted. That way that like, something like this doesn't happen again on the 4th.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or like that it did on the 4th, and that way everyone knows that, because I've heard of our neighbors plan on lighting them off because they haven't seen anything posted that they have to go to the park or so forth. So if we do have to go to the park again, then we definitely need to have like police presence, like maybe directing traffic. Hey, they're gonna light off here, you guys need to go here, or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Got all that, Grant? All right, thank you. No introduction and adoption of resolutions and ordinances. Reports from council.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Don.
Okay, Bill Schaff, a lot of you know him, what you don't, but his dad and his uncle both retired from Carbon County Railway. And Bill had a switch and a light that he donated to the museum Saturday. And it's mounted on ties. The ties are actually from by the roundhouse. And it's mounted on two ties. It's heavy. It took 3 of us to lift that, but we got it in the museum. It's really nice. And it's a kerosene, excuse me. It's a kerosene light, not a battery light, but it's really, really nice. So we were happy to get that. And we did open the museum for a while Saturday. Not a lot of people came, but some did. One of them that came that I was glad got to see it was one of Elwin's sons, the one that was here last year, and he lives in Florida. He came. Patrick. Yep. So that was good. Mark back there, he was the one that opened it up while Barbara and I were busy at the park. So thank you, Mark, that was nice. We talked about, or he talked about, Pat did. I don't know, I guess they stayed for over an hour, didn't they, Mark?
Was that?
They stayed for over an hour over there?
Oh, the Rast Museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like 6 people total, and they looked through every one of them. For every one of their relatives or friends or whatever, over the years, I guess, and they looked them all up in the big, pictures of the class, graduating classes and everything. And talked a lot about their life there in that building of the museum when it was, I guess his dad owned it, when it was a car shop and everything. So I'm hoping that I asked them to, if they had any pictures of it at that time when it was being used for those things, to get those, because it seems like that'd be a nice thing to have in the building that it used to be for the museum.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Donnie worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were there.
Well, I couldn't tell you, they did retreading tires there and they were recapped,
Very nice.
all kinds of things. So,
My
every time I get to work
never had
there.
a recap come back bad. But if anybody has any pictures, I'll get a hold of Don Butler and see if he's got anything. But that would be nice to have pictures of Ellen and Juanita and the family.
I have some that I did a story on in the newsletter.
Yeah.
That was sent to me by Annette Rasmussen,
Okay.
and I'll check to see if I still have those.
Yeah, that would be nice to have those in there.
Boy, successful people. One time Elwood came up to the shop and says, "Could I borrow a little bit of this, man?" He said, "I started business right here
working in this back room, and boy, he became a multi-millionaire. Yeah, he was a tyrant. Boy, I tell you what.
Good business.
Yeah,
I'll
he
tell
did.
you a little story. One day I was working on Saturday, and Dan and Doug said he didn't partake in it. But the three boys, Van and Doug and Pat, came over there. And as soon as they seen him, they were all giggling and laughing and cutting up, and I thought, what are these kids up to? Well, they had one of them, there was a carnival up here. They had one of them big cigars, about that big round, about that long. And they were playing like they were smoking it. So their dad, Elvin, he says, "You boys want to smoke that?" And they said, "Yeah." And he says, "Okay." So they lighted up, and it
That's
was
funny.
not very long. They had enough. They were crying and begging. And he made them slow that thing down to that big.
Oh.
Wow. But they never smoked again. But I was teasing Doug about that. He says, "I didn't smoke, but I think he did. I think they all did."
I'm sure
That
they
was
all
funny.
Good story.
But yeah, it would be nice to get some pictures posted over there.
Well, Mark's a big hand, huh?
Mark's a good hand.
A good hand over there. We appreciate it.
For you guys that haven't been to the museum, Mark frames all the pictures that we have, old Wayne pictures, a lot of other pictures too. Mark has been a good big asset.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. Been a lot of fun.
The only other thing I have is now that community day is over, maybe I can get with the maintenance people, and we can go over that cemetery map, the new map. I think Grant will agree with me, I don't think it's practical right now to utilize all of those, the little cremation plots. We talked about using a full plot instead of, there's
That's too many.
hundreds.
I think there was 364 in one section, in each section.
Yeah,
What we came up with.
that's crazy. But we can add a lot.
Mhm.
So we'll go through that and try to make sense of that map and maybe change it a little bit, how we see fit, we'll present it to you guys and see what you think. But I'm still working on that ordinance, the changes. We went through it, but we need to sit down and go through it again. And then, like we talked last council meeting, we really need to increase
Explain
our plots.
You asked me.
You have something you want to say?
I'm sorry? You talking to me?
Yeah.
He asked me a question.
Well, I'm presenting this, and you're interrupting people.
He asked me a question.
Well, how about just holding off? Is that okay? Is it okay?
Continuing with your meeting.
Anyway, I think we really seriously need to look at increasing our plot prices quickly. I looked at Spanish Forks the other day, and by the time you buy a plot, pay for the closing and opening, or opening and closing, things like that, you're well over $1,000. And I can't remember who it was, Chuck and Carol, you might remember, but who was it that passed away and they had their funeral and then took it up?
Carrie's dad.
Yeah, Carrie Hunt's dad.
And it was $3,000 for opening.
Just the
and closing.
opening and closing, that's not a plot. So,
Well, and the thing with the cemetery, it's a one-time use. You gotta get as much out of it as you can. You're not gonna get continual
that's
money
right,
out of it.
yeah. But I think we need to still stay reasonable, but I'm thinking $650, $700 a plot. That's cheap still.
It is.
That's cheap. But we can discuss it and then we'll vote on it, see what we come up with.
Finished with the engineers, or they?
Yeah, they've surveyed. When we get together, maintenance, all of us, when we decide what we're gonna do with them plots, then they will modify the map to fit us. That's all I have.
one thing I need to talk to you about, so don't let me forget, I'll talk about it. Okay, Liz?
Community Days is over.
Yay.
And newsletter articles due the 22nd, so if anyone has, which is not far away, if anyone has any articles, get them to me by the 22nd. And the next one is the homeless problem. I was talking to some people, and Mike Porter had talked to me about some of the things that the governor, Hobbs has been actively engaged in, and that's homelessness, and trying to find solutions. And there is money available. Now, I don't know how the money is being distributed, but we may want to look at something like that. Some of the things that we had talked about is, because we have a homeless problem, and I think it's, and even if they're in houses, they're still homeless. They're not their houses, they're homeless. Look at something that we need to do, and maybe perhaps some of the buildings that the city owns, we're looking at, maybe getting donations. There's the, now, we had talked about Peterson Elementary School, that would be a perfect place for a homeless shelter. There's a lot of, it's away from everyone, there's a big parking lot, or there's that church down on, I don't know what it's called. Grand Avenue that Kelly Lemon owns, that could be turned into a homeless shelter. But I think we need to start looking at some solutions, because I'm not sure that this is going to go away. And as far as a citizen myself, and having someone on 142 Grassy Trail in my neighborhood, I'm sure other people don't want that same thing in their neighborhood, and that's what we're seeing, is all of those things popping up in neighborhoods. So I think it's something that we really need to think about and look at, because it's a problem. And I know one on 142 Grassy Trail, there's a dump truck there, and it's been there for, what, a week or longer?
2 days.
2 weeks. And what happens is they put garbage in, they throw garbage out. They put garbage in, someone goes in there and throws it back out. So it's never going to get filled. And we continue to enable that behavior by just letting it sit there. And then, from what I understand, there was food, lotion, shampoos delivered to them from the city. And that's enabling behavior. And we can't enable people to continue that behavior. Yes, we need to have compassion, but there's a difference between compassion and enabling. And we need to look at that and look at those things of what are we doing as a city to solve this problem. Because it is going to get worse.
I would just say, I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but working in the emergency room, I
Okay,
know.
just a minute. Before comments can be made by the public on this, the mayor needs to formally recognize anybody who wishes to be heard. So, Mayor, it's completely within your discretion to recognize people or not recognize them.
Jen, you're fine. Go ahead and tell us who you are for the record.
Oh, so my name's Jen Maestas. So I just think a lot of research is gonna need to go into that, just because, you know, who's gonna staff it? What are your guidelines gonna be? Working in the emergency room, I see how quickly resources get overrun and overused, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea, I'm just saying it's gonna be a huge project if that's
Of course,
something we decide to take on.
yeah. There's always money involved and staffing problems involved and everything else. Because we're not only dealing with homeless, we're dealing with addiction and we're dealing with mental health illness. So there's a lot of things involved.
Bill Tice, a minute or two.
Okay, as far as that 142 Grassy Trail, we did go in there and try and help them clean it up and they kicked us out. The thing with opening a shelter, they have to want to go in, you can't force them in. We have to get them out of these houses, but, you know, I've heard Christian talk about the legalities of that, it sounds like a nightmare. But building a shelter, I am all for, but we can't force people into it. You were saying about the addiction, I'd say 90% of the homeless in this town are addicted, if not more. But they're not going to want to go into a shelter that they can't use, so we have to, it has to be a dual approach to both.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there isn't something that we can just go do overnight. It's something that we need to look at, but we need to also keep looking at what we're doing now, enabling that behavior and allowing them to throw garbage back out when people are trying to help them, taking shampoo and lotion and buying food and on city's expense.
Mary.
I was asked by the mayor to go buy toilet paper, soap, shampoo, and that was all I bought. No, I did not bring them any food. And it helps to try to get the property cleaned. And it helped them with a little bit of cleaning stuff and being able to go to the bathroom. And so it failed. I tried my very best to help them clean. We tried to go over there and help them move it. They don't want to get part with any of it.
No, they don't.
So-
Yeah, they don't, and they don't have water, so
I
they
was
can't
just
even.
gonna ask, do they have water or power?
May I speak? We did turn on the water, so, because I had a problem with complaining that they were using the bathroom freewheeling everywhere. So when the kids are seeing that, so, okay, it's a double-edged sword here. So I'm trying to help and get it done, but they're not willing to do it. So here I am. I tried. So it's like.
We know how that stuff got there.
Mary does.
People got there in that house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last question, or elaborate on
Hang on, Mike.
May I speak?
Is that Lene?
Yeah, this is Lene Roberts.
Hang on a minute there. They were evicted from where they were at. The owner of that property went to the chief and asked if he could get them out of there. He said, no, you've got to go through the system. They went through the system and they were successful at that. The chief showed up and evicted them all. And that's where they went, was to that house. But these people that evicted them had all their ducks in a row. We're up there, we have no ducks in a row. We have no ducks to deal with. So that's a deal there. And yeah, I told them, turn the water on. As soon as we can't stop that crapping out in the yard stuff, taking some toilet paper, see if we can at least clean that up. Turn the water on, you'll never guess what happened. Yes, it was all over the place. They had taken out the fixtures in that house. So there was no helping them that way. We could not turn the water on in that home. I don't know if we'll ever be able to. But like Bill said, if you think it looks bad outside, you should look inside.
Well, if they refused everything that this city and the citizens are trying to do for them, do we have any recourse at all?
You can cite them for property damage or destruction by a trespasser on real property under section 76-6106.2. Statute says an actor commits property damage or destruction by a trespasser on real property, if, under circumstances not amounting to burglary. Burglary is when you enter a building with the intent to commit a felony. So if you enter a building not intended to commit a felony, but Part A says you enter or remain unlawfully on real property and cause damage or pecuniary loss equal to or in excess of $1,500, you could be arrested and charged with a second-degree felony. So there's one option. Another option, under 769102(2)A, an actor commits disorderly conduct if he refuses to comply with the lawful order of a law enforcement officer to move from a public place. So this is in a public place, but if somebody's camping out on a public area, they can be charged with disorderly conduct. Can also be charged with disorderly conduct if they knowingly create a hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose. There are things they can be charged with if they are on commercial property. There's a new statute, 766208, it's called unsanctioned camping on state property. An actor commits unsanctioned camping if the actor is camping on state property unless the state expressly authorizes camping on the state property. We could pass our own ordinance prohibiting camping on city property. That's a Class C misdemeanor. You go to jail for 90 days for that. So we can pass our own camping ordinance, or we can arrest and cite and charge people for causing property damage on this. I don't know anything you're talking about because it sounds like this is common knowledge here, but I don't know about it. Somebody was in a house and tore it out. So that's private property. If they're in private property and they destroy that private property, everyone that contributed to that can be arrested and charged with a second-degree felony and put in jail. So as you have these things, you could call me and ask me, give me specific details about specific things, and I can suggest things.
This is the house that we've been talking about, squatters that have just moved in, one on 142 Grassy Trail. We've been talking about
They don't
in
own
the
it,
city, and they don't own it.
and it doesn't matter who owns it. If it's not theirs, you can go get them. You don't have to show that there's been a probate or hasn't been a probate.
And the city's striking out by putting the dump truck and then, turning the water on whenever, but they're confusing everything. I mean, they're, like I said, they're putting the garbage
And
in.
now they've damaged the house.
Now the house is all,
Oh, I haven't seen it.
the house is damaged.
I believe in helping people, but like Bill said, they kicked them out. I mean, you guys went over there to try to help them clean up. They're refusing everybody's help.
They don't have any legal right to be there, right?
No, they don't.
So they
The
could be
lady
arrested.
that owned it, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the lady that owns the property passed away. The house is legally, I guess, still in her name, but they just moved in, they're squatters.
Well,
So I think
you're not helpless. Now, the difficult thing is if then you have to show that they're causing, to get the second-degree felony, you have to show that they caused damage to the property in excess of $1,500. But if
I
they,
can show they caused damage to our property. We are owning right next to it.
but if they enter the property that they're not authorized to enter, that by itself is a criminal trespass, which is a Class A misdemeanor. And they can be arrested and taken to jail for a year for a Class A misdemeanor. So there are options.
I
Let's
think,
give them a place and shelter and food.
Well, that's really a homeless shelter.
And they're just overstaying, then that's really not a criminal trespass. Basically until they've defied a court order. So, yes, we need to let our officers look at it and make sure there's no other legal claims to the property. But assuming there are not, then yeah, we can proceed that way.
Mike?
Mary knows, she's chased that pile of junk up there how many times from one place to the other, they keep moving it, moving it. I don't believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if the person who actually put that stuff there, is he living there now?
They were,
I think he's using it for a storage.
no, they,
Well,
he
there
was
was,
boyfriend and girlfriend, they split apart, so he went somewhere else. He
Okay,
didn't
but,
put
so,
it there, same thing.
that being said,
Yeah,
somebody, but the other issue that I see living there, you can't miss it. I mean, you see the traffic. They have friends of friends that show up, okay? There was a truck there today, about a 2023 pickup truck. That's a friend, you know, I'm sure maybe he's trying to help them on it. They have they've lost their water access. Their water access got evicted Saturday. So they have, at least where I'm at, they have nowhere to fill up their water. That's a bad thing, you know, this time of year. I don't wish that on anyone. I mean, 100-degree heat, you're living in that house. I called Rocky Mountain Power this week and they will not give you any information. The only thing I got out of them is I asked them when that power was re-energized, and they said earlier this year. If you turn the water on, I'm not saying that's a good thing, bad thing, but if it would have been, everything would have been tight and good, I guarantee you there would have been an air conditioner in the winter.
So there is power.
There is power. I asked about, you know, they're not going to tell you who the owner is or who's paying it, who's paying the bills or anything, but there is power on it. And I don't have the answer, but what I'm afraid, this popped up, we've all been here, seen it. This is becoming the norm. It's not unusual, now it's a norm. That's why I started looking at, you know, and most of them are grants, most of them are in northern Utah, as far as the homeless center. But Bill Tice made a good point. If they don't want to be there, they're not going. So this is a real mess. Winter's coming. Half of them, not half of them, but I know a bunch of them, and Mary can confirm this probably. They're out in the cedars. They get fed up with each other and that, now they just, you know, go out and see them. Dogs, I mean, 24 dogs in one house. Oh. This, I feel, this is gonna eat us up. I know it's, you know, you're not gonna fix it tomorrow. It's gonna be a long, drawn-out process, but it's my opinion, if we don't start, it's like you're talking tonight, I don't know where they're gonna go, if they get evicted. We gotta come up with some kind of solution.
Maybe this is it.
Well, maybe it is, but where are they going?
It has to be enforced, yeah.
It has to be enforced. Thank you.
Well, the other thing is, no, this is not the proper forum to, if people know stuff about things going on in places, they need to let the officers know.
Oh,
Rather
that's done.
May I speak?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is not, to ambush our officers about these issues in a public meeting is not the appropriate way to make things happen. You know, if you know stuff, make a report. I've never had, my experience has been these guys go check everything out that's reported. So,
Can I comment on that? How many of us filled out that form, Mary, on the dog issue? Where is it? In the file. It's in the file
it's
somewhere.
been forced, it has been signed.
3 years from now, maybe, after they're dead and gone, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
well, here's what I'm saying, is that you can bring the issue generally. If you know specific facts about something happening now, then that's what needs to be reported.
Can I speak?
Lene?
Yes.
Yes.
So, we own the property that's right next door to the house that you guys are talking about. And we've had many, many interactions with them. We've asked them nicely to stop using like our property as a through traffic. They drive through it all the time. We put up poles in hopes that it would stop them. We put up like all kinds of stuff. We found needles in our property. Some of our stuff has been vandalized and messed with, so, and I've got it all documented. We've tried to call it a few times, but we were told we needed to put up no trespassing signs, so we had those up as well, but I don't know if we can help with that, and because it's awful, like our stuff is not safe over there. There's a lot of little kids there. They're pretty belligerent with me. Grant was able to witness that one. I don't think that they really want help. They're pretty aggressive and just really brush you off when you try to speak to them kindly.
Okay, I think we just about beat the subject up.
May I make a comment or ask a question?
Yes.
I want to know about the health issue there. If they're defecating and urinating all over, isn't that a health issue? Can't we use that to address?
No, we get no help from them. No. They tell you that if that's the way they want to live, they can live that way.
Yes,
But she
if-
just said there was kids in there.
If there's kids in the home,
Not there.
that's a different story.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't know of any kids living there. I just mean like my kids, we can't even have them on the property, and there's kids that live in surrounding areas
Okay.
that kind of play around there, and it's just dangerous.
It seems to me like that would be a health issue. I mean, germs,
What we've been told
disease.
is if they are adults and they want to live that way, this is coming from the health department. It's right here telling us.
If there's no kids,
If there's
But they're
children
right
there,
next to you.
if there's children in that home, then the health department can step in. But if they're adults, we were told they could live that way if they wanted.
I called the health department, they went to that house and nobody would answer the door. They said there was not much they could do, but I'm gonna visit the health department again.
but it's not going away. And like I said, I don't have excuses, but I'm afraid this is the norm.
I just have one quick question, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that we can do legally as far as, so we talk about the health hazard, and I know the health department says they can live how they want, but not so much at 142 Grassy Trail, but at 515 Edge Hill Place. EMS and fire have had to go in that home several times, and there's so much feces in there, and you're not sure whether it's animal or human. My guess is it's probably both. Is there any sort of, do we file a report? What can we do on that?
Yeah, this is-
Because in that case, it is a public health issue.
You should get an abatement by eviction order. In other words, like we talked about, you can bring a civil nuisance action.
That was the same house that I made motion on last meeting to do that.
Okay, so that's what we do, is we go and have it declared a nuisance. You can then get a court order to have them evicted. And you can also, then clean up the property and then attach it to their property tax.
So where are we with that? And what's the next step?
I'm waiting to get pictures and affidavits and information.
So kind of what I did before,
What's that?
what I did before for the one on 142.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Gary's asking us how we're gonna pay for this. That's another issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
so,
big issue.
Well,
the budget in this shape, I don't know how we're gonna pay for it. Okay, let me just say where I'm at. I've been dealing with this for about the last 6 years. And about every October, I go into Sam and I ask him, do we know where our homeless are? Do we know what kind of condition they're in? Do we know what they're doing, how they're living, how they're surviving? Last year, we had a lady living underneath a porch of a guy's home up here while we were out unthawing pipes, about 30 of them. I'm glad somebody brought it up, the word homeless, because that is my issue, and it's sad. And when you see Johnny packing that propane bottle up the street, who stops to help him? Mary, police department, that's the size of it. That's his survival right there. I don't know what kind of help they get from the food bank. Don't worry about it. I don't know if they get much help from the food bank, but if they ask, I'm sure they would.
Johnny does. We see him at the senior center every day at lunch.
Okay.
And Brenda gives him a to-go bag every day.
There's, all right. You all right, Liz?
That's it?
You okay? Thanks.
Just thinking.
Yeah. Let me get back to the very first thing I wrote on this list was to thank everybody for community service. My goodness. That was a good effort and a lot done. I need to go back up here to the top. Overtime, we'll go back to as needed. If it wasn't for being able to pay overtime, we'd have no meeting here tonight, because Liz wouldn't be here tonight. So overtime as needed is the way that will be going. Chuck, what do you got?
This overtime thing, so my guys, they know that the only time they do that is if it's emergency. There's a water break, so they know that we can't lose any water, so they're trying to be best they can with that.
They still have an order out there that says I have to approve it, so we're all right there.
Anyway, thank you, Liz, for all your hard work.
Boy, thank you, Liz.
It was even crazy Friday night at rodeo. When I got home at 10:30, my phone had, I don't know how many messages, the band canceled. The pool canceled. And then between the time I was at rodeo and by the time I got home, the band that canceled found another band. So the band that was there was not the original band. And the mechanical bull is not the mechanical bull. Thank goodness they organized that for me, because I was in panic. When I got home and saw those messages, the guy from the first band, the main singer, piano player, he was hospitalized, so they had to cancel. But talk about wondering what am I going to do for 2.5 hours of entertainment. I don't entertain people. I'm not a singer and dancer.
What I'm wondering is how we'll do without you next year.
Oh, you'll do it.
I know we will, but you have been thoroughly trained. Maybe she'll volunteer.
Like I said, event organizers make a lot of money.
Yeah, and you know why.
Well, thank you, Liz, and the council and everyone that, I think we had a great turnout this year, so.
It was a good year.
What else you got, Scott?
Well, your reservoir is sitting at 89 3/4 down. That's pretty good. We need to talk. I think that Grant and Cody and the maintenance of rock have already finish up the islands off. What else, Karen?
Turn down the cemeteries and, well,
Yeah, turn them down.
Sunnyside,
But,
down
you know,
yet,
yeah, we need up on that, but, pretty serious. On the good side, the cement was poured, come out beautiful, the front and the back. The back was more something that needed to be done, the safety building. It's gonna work.
I'm the city council meeting, man. Excuse me, I'm in the city council.
The landscape, so they finished all the cement. Beautiful job, Luis always does a great job. We have some good help. Ward, the landscapers were there today, they were finishing up, putting in the water system that we have. And I would imagine the next few days they'll have it all finished up. And then we're gonna make plans to have some type of get together up there and show the people what we've done. It's gonna look nice. It's been a long haul, a lot of trouble. But it's been how many years?
Since we started,
25 years.
yeah, 4 years to just get the funded and up and running. Yeah.
So do you have a plan or a date that when you want to?
Well, let's see what Ford does in the next couple of days, and then we'll just.
Let's get her something before the 22nd.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Even if we're wrong, let's get it.
So anyway, we have to make some serious decisions on this water, and then we're gonna have the officers enforce it, because we just are, everybody's gonna have to cut back. And that's all I have.
Okay. For the mayor, you can see that the lighting project is in motion, and hopefully that's done by the end of this week. They're gonna go over and actually paint those ugly black poles around the park, but it was amazing the way it looked last night, all lit up with the new lighting. So that's, like I say, I hope they're done by the end of the week, and so do they. Like Chuck says, the treatment plant, that is some nice work that's been done up there. And the road to get there, I've been squawking about that for 2 or 3 years now. Finally, that's been done. Big improvement. I mean, it's not a freeway, but boy, it's not like it was. Maintenance done a fine job of cleaning up after community days. Appreciate that. We're trying to get that, still talking about it. Getting that siren running up at the ball field, the warning. Rocky Mountain was up there, and the clearance between a couple of their lines isn't right. So in talking with them today, did you talk with them? Did you? What?
we have to change the box for the siren and the box off the building, put them on the pole, and they're gonna run that service line to that pole. To that pole, yep. And then we'll have to just drop down and underground the power to the shed or the building. It's an easy fix. But they'll give us our clearances.
That caught us off a little bit. What they're saying is the clearance between the ground and the lines weren't enough in case a big truck or something goes through there. But they put the drop in a year ago, and we all thought it was fine. After inspection, it wasn't. Okay, old business. Yes.
We've talked for some of them, we remember about ordinances being on the website. the city codes on there, not the ordinances. Ordinances are something that the city council reviews, revises, makes, and then turns them over to Jesse, and then he turns them to the attorney. So those are not city ordinances online, because I had several people call and ask about looking at the ordinances that are on the city page, and I said, I'll look at them, but I don't think there's city ordinances. So those are the land use development codes. And so we don't have the ordinances online yet. And then we have a copy of the general plan, which is comprehensive long-term plan for the city for our growth. But what is online is the land use development and management codes, not the ordinances.
From what we're hearing, AI they make that a lot easier. Let's see
I mean, it's basically a job of scanning them and posting them, right?
That will make a big difference.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
people,
actually getting that done.
I don't know if it's been posted and said that they were ordinances, but,
They're land use ordinances.
okay, but it says ordinances and resolutions, which is really what they are, land use development. And so we have to make sure that that's understandable online, so that people aren't looking for an ordinance, because ordinances are a lot more detailed and a lot longer than just things.
Do you have access to that site? Make those changes?
What most cities do is they codify their ordinances. In other words, you take your ordinances and then you organize them into a code so that they're organized by thematic section, right? So basically, our chapter 3 is procedures. That chapter is, each code section is based upon an actual ordinance that was passed, but it might not be in consecutive order. So having all the ordinances as they are consecutively would be nice, but most cities do not post their ordinances online. They post their city code so that people can search and see what ordinance applies based on the things, based on the subject, basically.
Yeah.
So, yes, our code needs to be updated. And it does have more than just, it is primarily development code. There are a few sections that are not just development code. But yes, that's, I can tell you, every city that I've dealt with, they hire a company to codify their ordinances. And then basically, when you look for stuff, you're looking based on subject matter and not. I don't know of any, maybe some big cities post their ordinances. I don't think they do though. I think everything is just their code. So we need to update our code, that's for sure. But I don't think we're doing anything different than any other cities.
Write that down, Chuck, you'll be here.
It's a lot.
You'll be the one. New business. No one? Payables.
Make a motion that we pay payables for July 15th, 2025.
One second. We have a motion and a second to approve the payables for July 15th, 2025. Give me just 1 minute here, just a few things. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Need a motion to adjourn.
No.
Oh, no, right.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, good job, everyone.